Good afternoon or evening. Welcome everybody to the Live Place and classic movies of the 50s and 60s. I am so excited because with me is my partner RobFuz. RobFuz, always a pleasure. I have for the first time two people that I have never live streamed with, and that is Tina from Team Marie Photography and Carlos, the Disney World freak. Thank you guys for showing up.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me, Dean.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Going to be
First off, can I just start off? I'm so excited about Movie Week. It's such a great idea, Dean. So excited. This is your entry. It's just so cool. So thanks for having me. Just psyched. Sorry.
Well, Rob knows movies, and I'll just say we got Road Trip Dave in the house here, and we went live on Saturday night to kind of kick off this whole thing. We went 2 hours and 15 minutes talking about Indiana Jones, and we felt like we didn't even touch the topic. So
Crazy.
Lots to talk about. So guys, so good to be here. This is a huge blessing for me just to spend some time with you and talk some classics here. So shall we roll?
Can I ask? I want to ask a couple of questions first.
Before you ask a couple questions, let me say hello to everybody in the chat here.
Of course.
We have me. There's Emily. Hey, AJC Magic. Amy, good to have you here. Of course, Carlos is here. We have It's Joey's World. Hello, Lisa, Joey, and Keith. And we also have my partner, one of my partners, Road Trip Dave. Good to have you here, my friend. And we also have Danny from Two Real Geeks. Danny, good to have you here. And there is RobFuz's favorite YouTube channel name, Super Fluffy Yeti. And then we have Pearl Manhattan, our good friend, and she's going live Wednesday at noon with Star Wars music. So you definitely want to be there for that. And we have Alex, the filmmaker. How appropriate. Good to have you here, Alex. We have Stevie Lee. And we have J&N Travels, John and Nancy. Good to see you here. And the Coos Cruisers. Man, nice to have you here. We got a good showing from the cruise community. So, Tina, tell us what's going on with you lately. Tina?
Not just hanging out on YouTube, here and there, and
everywhere.
Doing shows on Wednesdays and having a ball.
I love
on a number.
By the way, they're awesome.
Yeah.
When she talks music, I'm all there. I'm all excited. So more music, Tina. More music.
I like it.
Dave was banned worldwide.
He was.
We were like taken down 5 times during his stream.
So awesome. He's such a bad boy.
He is.
It's too funny.
All right. Well, guys, Rob is so much better at running these things, but I'm going to go ahead and roll with it. We are going to talk our favorite classics from the 50s and 60s, and we want to see people from the chat. Go ahead and put up some of your favorites or your thoughts as we're giving our list. But let's start with number 5, okay? We're going to start with our top 5. Oh, Rob has questions.
I have some questions here. So I'm doing research here, Dean.
Yes, sir.
And what did they put out like 1 million movies a year, like in the 50s and 60s? Like I was looking, like Universal, right, Carlos? Crazy. Universal alone put out 348 movies in the 50s, 50 to 59, and 235 movies in the 60s. They put out 350 movies in 10 years. That's a lot of movies. It's crazy. Just Universal, too.
Don't forget, there was nothing else to do back then. What else was there to do besides going to a movie house?
I think so, yeah.
Watching a film.
How they put out all these movies, though? It's crazy. So
I don't know, way before my time, but don't ask me why I'm in this category.
Yeah, Dean's a tiny bit older than me, I'm gonna say, but like I'll be honest with you, I felt a little strange. Like I haven't seen these movies in a long time, Dean. I don't know. There's a couple movies I saw, but I just haven't. So
I watch them all the time.
I know you love
Same
them.
here. Yeah.
I know you guys love them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try my best. So I just want to put a disclaimer out there. So
that works. Right, so. Let me just say this, and I think Tina, you're a little younger than us, but when I was young, you would go to a movie theater and there would be just one movie, and and everybody went and saw that one movie, which made sort of a better sense of community. I don't know. What do you think, Carlos?
Well, I'm still pretty young myself, but my reasoning for watching these films, just to throw this out there, is I was born very late to my parents. My parents were in their 40s when they had me. So, I mean, one's passed away for a while now, but my mother's 86. Growing up, this is what I watched because, back then Dad had the control. So if the Guns of Navarone was on, that's what you're going to watch. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I grew up with. This is what I enjoy watching. Yep. And people that have always, thrown that in my face, like, oh, wow, you like your 50s and 40s and 60s movies. I like the new stuff. I just really enjoy the old stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
But you are right. Back then, it was one theater, one screen. It was. That's what people would go watch. Was that one movie for a week or two, and then something else would come out.
The way I saw these movies too was like on the ABC Monday Night Movie or whatever, that with the like in the 70s and stuff. That's where I would see these movies. I'll be honest with you, they really don't show a lot. I guess on the classic movie network and stuff like that.
Turner Classic Movies.
Turner, yeah. But I don't feel there's a lot of love for the movies in the 50s and the 50s, 60s, even 70s, even like 80s movies a little bit, but I was looking back at the Academy Award for Best Picture in the 50s and 60s, and there's a couple of classics there, but not much love. I don't know. I just want to discuss that. So, sorry.
Good discussion. Yeah. Welcome to Captain Akron.
Captain.
And I saw Steve. Oh, I said hi to Stevie Lee. We got Pepper Tree Villa here. We have, let's see. Sorry, hold on. Danny from Griswold Family Vacay. Good to have you here, Danny. And so let's roll with this. All right. We're going to start with Tina here. And Tina, we're going to go to you to number 5. What is your number 5 favorite?
Awesome. Okay. So my number 5 is Breakfast at Tiffany's from 1961.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
My girl.
It's a classic movie.
She was so big. In fact, I'm going to interject here. Isn't she the one who stole? What was the film Julie Andrews was supposed to do, but Audrey Hepburn did? Spacing. It's a good story. Well, I forgot.
Yeah, you.
Yep.
So,
all right. Does anybody else have Breakfast at Tiffany's?
No, not on my list.
It's on my honorable mention list. So.
No,
I haven't seen it in a long time, so I don't have much to add to it. It's one of my wife's favorite movies. We do own it on DVD, so exciting. But I do want to go back and watch. It's been a while. So.
Tina, would you call that a classic chick flick?
Sure. Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely. Wow, we're getting a lot of people here. We got 28 people here.
What's up, everyone?
Vivian's here. Ron's. Listen to me. I'm calling him Ron. Rob's and
hey,
subscribe to myself too.
What's
Vivi's in the house.
What am I? Grace.
Tina's one of my members. Carla's one of my members. Thanks, guys.
Nice.
I put it in my member chat. That's probably why she got here. So, well, welcome.
I shared it out all over Twitter for the last couple of days. I try to get our people in here.
Woohoo! Thank you. I'm dying to hear Carlos's. I know I could guess probably 4 of the 5 of Dean's. I'm curious about Carlos's, and I bet you Carlos and Dean are going to be similar. I'm putting.
It's going to be similar. Yeah.
Well, I kind of gave one away already. If people would pay attention, if they even know what that means.
I googled it, so I found out. Not gonna lie.
All right, Carlos, let's hear it. Number 5.
Listen, number 5. So everybody in the chat knows I didn't rank any of my movies until Dean kind of made me while we were backstream. Okay. So I have a number 1, and then the rest are all tied for 2. I love classic movies. They're all tied for 2. If they're on my list, I love watching them over and over again. But I ranked them quick, and just because I wanted to talk about it, I love war movies. So my number 5 that made my list is The Dirty Dozen with Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson, Telly Savalas. Great military movie. A lot of great actors in it. Again, a movie I grew up watching on Dad's lap. Dad got me into all of these movies, but military movies I love, and that was one of the classics. Comedy, along with the military action to it, but yeah, I'll throw that one out there as number 5.
Dirty Dozen.
Is that really a good family movie, Carlos?
Listen, we didn't say anything about family
never
movies.
seen it,
we said our
That's
favorite.
No, the way you said it, though. I was sitting on my dad's lap as a kid, and we watched.
Dirty. Well, again, I was young. Dad was. By the time I'm watching this, Dad's already 50. Let's put it that way. So I'm not even 50 yet. So for my kids couldn't sit on my lap now. The 22-year-old would crush me, and even the 8-year-old's a little too heavy for my taste right now. But no, the Dirty Dozen's great. Donald Sutherland, a young Donald Sutherland in this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Did he turn into a plant?
He was he was a big goofball in that movie. He was one of the comedians in it. Well, it's more of a comedy than what it is a military movie, but it's based on a military. So it's a great movie. You got to check it out if you haven't seen it.
Good choice. Hello, Richard. Orlando guy is here, and we
Richard, how are you, buddy?
Richard.
And I saw Papa Mozo's.
Treeville.
Good to see you, Papa Mozo.
Hi, everyone.
All right, RobFuz, number 5.
I went through here. I have like 30 movies on my list, so
Yeah,
I have a bunch of honorable mentions in here. So, like Carlos said, I threw together my top 5 list here. It's I'll be honest with you, there's a lot to pick from here. And I asked Dean on our private chat, I said, can I put animated movies in here? He said, absolutely. So my number 5 pick from 1950, you should say the years too, guys. From 1953, I picked Peter Pan. So I love Peter Pan. Good animated movie. I look at, and I don't mean to be a killjoy, but I feel Disney kind of went in waves and stuff like that. I feel like Snow White into that wave, into the 30s, 40s, into the 50s. The 50s Disney movies were good. I think he had a big comeback with one of my other picks I have. But I thought out of the cartoon, the different movies in that range, I think Peter Pan is the best. So obviously Inspire the Ride. It's just a great movie. It's quick. All these I noticed these earlier animated movies, they're quick. They're under, maybe 80 minutes long or something like that, 70 minutes. I don't know how long Peter Pan is, but I know Dumbo is like an hour. That's it. I don't
Really?
know. I think Dumbo came out earlier. But yeah, they're quick movies. It's just a classic. Come on, Peter Pan, guys. We have all Disney fans here, so I picked Peter Pan for my number 5 pick. It's just a classic. I don't even know what to say about it. So, Pepper Tree Bill says, "This is 53." They do the title. You're awesome, Pepper Tree Bill.
For animated films, I looked for Disney stuff, and for some reason that slipped my eyes. But I believe, well, I was going to say one, and one of you guys might have chosen it, so I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, probably did. So that's
All
my
right.
pick. Come on, it's great. It's Peter Pan.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
So these are all, I wouldn't have guessed any of these. So this is fun. I'm glad you guys, I thought we were going to have all the same, to be
Well,
honest.
it's funny because as I was looking at the list, I was like, yeah, Dean's going to pick that. Dean's going to pick this. Dean's going to pick that. So, but I kind of, be honest with you, I kind of avoided them. So,
Grace has got some great movie quotes here. Never say goodbye, because goodbye means going away, and going away means forgetting. It's a great quote.
Yeah.
All right. All right, you guys ready? All right. Number 5 for me is, I'm skipping one, and I'm going Lawrence of Arabia.
Great
Okay.
film.
Yeah.
Great film.
But anybody have that in their top 5?
I'm embarrassed to say, Dean, I don't think I've ever seen that movie, or I saw it when I was,
Yeah.
in my teens, early teens. So it's been a while.
It's in my 30 list, but it's not.
I knew you were going to pick that.
It's there.
Dean really
For a-
likes Charlton Heston too. So is Charlton Heston in that one? No.
Nope.
No.
He's not. But I know he's coming. So
Oh, that made me forget the who's the main actor, Carlos?
You're gonna draw. That's one thing with me about remembering who's in the movies. I had to write some of them down.
Yeah.
Actually, I had to write all of them down because
it's Peter O'Toole.
Peter
I
O'Toole.
envisioned him. And Alec Guinness, isn't that Ben Kenobi?
Yes.
Yeah, Alec Guinness is the head Arab guy, and he's great at it. And it's a great film. I will just say this. For anyone watching, if you've never watched Lawrence of Arabia, the first half is fantastic. The second half, it's not, but it's still worth watching. And it won more awards, I think, than just about any other film, if I remember right.
Best Picture, 1962. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess, Dean, can I put this out here too? Mm-hmm. Every one of your picks won Best Picture.
Nope.
Or close. Okay.
Close,
I would say the majority, though. The majority did.
Well, that's an interesting fact, but we'll wait for when it comes about.
Okay.
Thank you, Super Fluffy Yetis, telling us Peter O'Toole. Yep.
I love that.
Great actor. And it took, by the way, they said that it would take like 6 to 9 months to film Lawrence of Arabia. It ended up taking like 2.5 years. So it was a crazy thing.
That's crazy.
All right, number 4, Tina.
So my number 4 is Singing in the Rain.
Yes.
1952 with Gene Kelly. I love Gene Kelly.
Great pick.
Well, that can come off on my list.
I got a fact for you, Tina. And my son just told me this the other day. So if you've seen Singing in the Rain, Lena Lamont is this actor, singer that's in there, and she's just terrible, right? I mean, she's a terrible singer. And when they're showing it, they're showing her, but they're showing somebody really singing behind the scenes for her.
Yeah.
Okay. The interesting thing is, in reality, she was the real voice of the good singer. So she was dubbing for the dubbing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love Debbie Reynolds in that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's so attractive in that movie.
Oh, she's
And
beautiful.
let me bring this up because it was on my list. It was on the first page, so it would have been top 5 if I would have rated that way. I cracked myself up about this. Tell me Gene Kelly does not look like Kelly from Myers and the Mouse.
Yes.
Hold
Yes.
on, reframe that. Tell me Kelly from Myers and the Mouse sometimes on stream does not look like Gene Kelly in that movie.
I'm so glad you said that because that was the first thing I thought of.
Oh, I sent them images once. I was watching it. I'm like, my God, why are you on TV? Is this why your mother named you Kelly?
That's
Yeah, I'm telling you. Take a good look at Singing in the Rain. I'll take a good look at Gene Kelly from back then. And a good look at Kelly from Myers and the Mouse and tell me they're not the same person. Or at least related.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that line, Tina?
Yep.
Yes. No.
Even my 17-year-old, she loves Singing in the Rain. She's a big fan of Singing in the Rain.
I haven't seen that one in a long time either.
It's a really good one.
Nice pick, Tina.
Really?
Alex says Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds are amazing. And you guys know Debbie Reynolds is Carrie Fisher's mom.
Yes. And actually didn't know that until last year, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a documentary that they did together. I forget what it was. It was Carrie Fisher and her mom. It's really good. You should watch it, Tina. I'll figure it out. It was showed. It was filmed right before she died, and they released it right after Carrie Fisher died.
Wow.
So maybe they released after her mom died because they died
Within months of each other.
Yeah.
like even closer than that.
It was like maybe weeks. Yeah.
Weeks, I think.
Oh, a week. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that. About a month, if that.
You got to see the documentary. It's really good.
Yeah.
Great pick.
Obi Tina.
Love it.
All right, Carlos, number 4.
Oh, number 4. I'm flipping back in pages, even though I put some numbers on them. But it's like, yeah,
He's got pages.
I do. It's because it was hard to just, it's my type of movies. You know what? All right, fine. Because I had a number 4. You know what I had for number 4, and I'm just gonna take it out there. But I had Mary Poppins. But you know what? Mary Poppins is Mary Poppins. We could talk about it all day long. Number 4 for me is
It's on my top 5.
Yeah, it's on the list. So number 4 for me would be Casablanca. I love Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, another attractive actress. Not that actresses now are not attractive, of course they are, but for that generation, for a 35 to 40-year-old like myself to look at her and be like, wow, she's beautiful. She's
Carlo?
hot. Yeah.
She is the most attractive actress ever, in my opinion.
And you're really from that? Oh, ever?
I do think so. Yes, in that movie, you've seen her in other movies.
She is in a. You know what? I'll put Rosemary Clooney at that time just a little bit ahead of her. Just a little bit. And that's just me. But no, but Casablanca, another, again, sitting there just.
Casablanca came out in 1942. Eliminated.
No, it didn't.
I'm looking it up.
42 is right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 42.
Like,
It's
why is
okay.
it on my list? It's 'cause it's not
Carlos,
So I cheated like Dean. Dean off stream said he cheated too. So guess what?
And so did I. So you're good.
Doesn't count.
Oh.
Come on, guys.
I cheated, Carlos, because I chose Casablanca.
No, okay. Wait a minute. When I was looking, I'm like,
Hey, that's on the other stream. Famous films of the 40s. Come on, guys.
you know what?
Hey.
It probably did because I Googled some of the years. I'm like, let me see what year this movie came out. But Casablanca I just threw on a list because it's, it could have been number 2 for me. It could have, definitely not number 1. But
to be honest with you, that's what's tough about this stream is because it's not the title's not classic movies. It's 50s and 60s movies. So it was tough for me. And I'll be honest with you, I what I did was I looked up, best films of the 50s, best films of the 60s. And
fine to make Rob happy. Mary Poppins. So. All right. She flies around with a damn umbrella. We all know Mary Poppins. All right. I'm back on track.
It came out in 64 though. So
Hello, Keith. So, what was I going to say about that? No, I forgot. All right, let's keep moving here.
Blame Rob.
Well, no, if we got 42. I'm thinking, why don't I have Casablanca on my list? It's not even on my honorable list because it didn't come out in the 50s.
I know what it was. So, this line, which is one of the most quoted lines from Casablanca, is not actually in Casablanca.
You've told me that before.
Yeah.
Play it again, Sam, whatever. Play it again, Sam.
Yeah.
People say "play it again, Sam" all the time, but it was like, "play it, Sam. Play
it, Sam."
Time goes by. Yeah. All right.
That's awesome.
Cool. RobFuz.
Yeah. See, like I said, I went through a list, and the way I approach this stream is like it's. I hate saying the year. It's 2020. I'm looking back and what movies stood out for me, in this list of 50s and 60s movies. So believe it or not, I'm a huge, Tina knows I'm a big music fan. I'm a big Beatles fan. And The Hard Day's Night came out in 1964. So I threw that as my number 4 pick. And Slash, Help is a little crazy, but I put Help in there. Well, they're both crazy movies, but I thought they're up. They're coming to get Carlos.
Well, because I cheated.
Just lost a sub. But so I got Hard Day's Night, Help. I haven't seen Hard Day's Night in a long time. But if you see Love in Vegas, which I love, the musical thing, they really do a really cool tribute to Hard Day's Night and Help, all the Beatles songs and everything. So I always think about those movies when I go see that. I've seen the play 4 times. The production in Vegas. I definitely highly recommend it. But it's on a side note. But Hard Day's Night, it's the Beatles. Come on. I have a lot of honorable mentions. I have Elvis movies and Marilyn Monroe movies. Like they just threw a lot of movies. Like they threw a lot of stuff. Elvis had tons of movies and Marilyn Monroe had tons of movies. And the Beatles, they just tons of stuff. Just, I don't know how they did all that. Like I said, I was amazed how much stuff they really threw at you. Yeah. So, but that's my pick.
Good pick. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. I love their music. Their movies were like a little different.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They weren't great, but it's on my list.
It's a great pick. All right. My next one, I got to look it up here. Okay. It was Casablanca. So.
Well, anything else? Did you guys just watch videos on the Great Movie Ride and pick your picks, or was that?
Yeah. All right. I'll replace it with my number 6, which is, I just saw somebody with it here, The Sound of Music. You know that
that's
sound.
That's my number 3. So.
Okay, and here's my story about Casablanca. The Sound of Music is Mary Poppins. So Julie Andrews was My Fair Lady. That's it. So she was on Broadway. She was the star of My Fair Lady. But when they did it, they felt they needed a bigger name, and they put Audrey Hepburn in there. Well, had Julie Andrews gotten that role, which she expected to get, she would not have gotten Mary Poppins. And if she had not had gotten Mary Poppins, she wouldn't have got Sound of Music. So it turned out well for her.
Sure did.
Yep.
Got Mouse Talk in the house.
Hey, well,
Have you here? And Walt will be covering. They covered Rescuers last night, which was a great one, and then they're going to be talking about the greatest sports movies on
cool.
Saturday night. So
Sweet.
And I'm with Dan on Saturday night. We're doing bad movies you love. I think we're doing Disney Dan.
Nice.
Before that.
movies that are so bad they're hilarious.
That's it. That's the.
Yes.
I'll be on there. So. And I'm with
Yeah.
Kelly on Wednesday with John Hughes movies, which is
Wow.
awesome. Get some plugs in here. And Dean's coming on. I'm doing. We're doing Steven Spielberg on Friday.
That's going to be huge. That is going to be huge.
In that case, go look at my channel. I did a sports movies stream too with who was it with me? Kelly from Eyes and a Mouse and Jeff from This Our Dreams.
Cool.
A couple of months ago.
A lot
Yeah.
of classics.
Yeah. Love sports movies.
Yeah, me too.
Carlos is doing mobster movies. All right. No, that's Tracy
No,
Glenn.
me? No, I'm just here. Yeah.
I'm just here.
All right.
Very cool.
You see the Philly crew here?
Sound of Music's number 3 on my list. Not the first
It is?
spoiler. Yeah, and it's funny because I saw when I was a kid, I saw the play. My brother's class did the play of Sound of Music, and I loved it then. So, and then to go back and watch the movie, it's such a classic movie. It's on Disney Plus if you guys want to watch it. It's a classic Fox movie, I guess. So it's on there. So good. I agree with you. I was singing "Doe, a deer, a female deer" all day before we went on, and I think it's your thumbnail picture too. So they kind of gave it away.
All right. We're back to Tina. We're at number 3 here.
So my number 3 is 007 Dr. No from 1962.
Good pick.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got a James Bond too, but not
My
that
favorite James Bond movie at that too. So it's a good one. I love the beach scenes because it's just so dreamy. But yeah,
and Tina is your favorite James Bond, obviously Sean Connery.
yes, I love Sean Connery. He's one of my favorite actors.
Is there any other?
No,
I
he
mean,
is the only James Bond for me.
God knows there's how many James Bond has there been? What is it? 7
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
6 or
I'll have
7.
to
So
I think there's another one on the horizon too.
yeah, so I heard
Oh, really?
today. Yeah. A little music boy wants to be James Bond. I don't know if it's the same one you heard, Rob.
Oh, I don't know. I heard it a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
what's his name from One Direction? Oh my God, what's his name?
Oh,
Oh.
Harry Styles.
I didn't know that.
Was it Styles or
I
was
don't
it?
know.
Yeah, it's one of them. If you go Google
I
it,
didn't
it's
know
one
that.
of them. Yeah.
Crazy.
Maybe it's Niall. Forget his last name.
You know, I'm embarrassed. Well, not embarrassed to say it, but I grew up loving Roger Moore as James Bond. So, like,
Me
but
too.
My
I like
husband too.
Sean Connery. I think he was great, but Roger Moore to me was 007. No one ever came close to matching him. Just the way he was. He was just, and to be honest with you, looking back, he wasn't that great. So, but as a
no.
kid, I liked him. You know, it just
As a kid, yeah.
as a kid, you know, I got to remember that too. That's my disclaimer. So I'll be honest with you, I saw all the James Bond movies. None of them made it to my list. So, but that's a good pick, Tina. I
That's a great
I
pick.
like that you like it though. So
Tina, you're right. It was Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger Moore did Live and Let Die. That was the first James Bond movie I saw, so I kind of got attached to him. Yeah. All right. Carlos.
Yeah. Just to say, I did have a James Bond, but it was Goldfinger on my list, but
good pick.
nowhere close to top 5. But
Thanks,
it's on the pages. It's on, yeah. 3, 3. It's long, but even when it's on like TBS and it's on for 5.5 hours, I will sit back and watch it. I've gotten a wife into it. She asks a million questions while we're watching it, and I went and see it in the theater.
You're brave because I know what you're going to say.
You know what? Maybe it was more than like 4 years now. Or maybe it was 3 years, but whatever it was. My sister said, you know what? It's coming to a theater. We drove about 45 minutes to go see it. I sat there and watched Gone with the Wind with my sister, just like I do at home.
Another movie.
Love Gone with the Wind.
I
Clark
missed that.
Gable, Clark Gable.
I'm sure it didn't come out in the 6th. Let's see. 1939. You're not even close, Carlos. 1939 Gone with the Wind. I'm like,
I'm cheating. I'm cheating like a bastard.
like 2 decades off that time.
We're going to have to do a citizen's arrest here.
I was hoping I'd get by you.
1939.
I'll look up every single one of yours, Carlos. Every single one.
All right, I'll change it then, just to make you happy.
What's your next one? The Mickey Mouse where he's on the boat?
Steamboat Willie from the 20s.
Well, again,
Really?
you know what? Again, it's a movie that I didn't look at the year because I love the damn movie. All right, no, you know what? All right, fine. 59 for you. Ben-Hur. Charlton Heston,
Ben-Hur.
Stephen Boyd.
I would guess it's on Dean's list too. But
Ben-Hur.
it is.
Then I'll throw Ben-Hur out there. I'll take it from number 2 and I'll put it
Yeah.
at number 3 for you.
Yeah.
Because I have another one I can put at number 2. Let me check the year before you yell at me for that one too.
Yes.
But no, Ben-Hur, when he's down in the ship rowing those boats with all of them, and Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston was everybody could say Clark Gable from the 30s and whoever you want from now in the 40s, but Charlton Heston,
He was the man.
yeah, it was one of the. It didn't matter what movie he'd make, you were there to watch him.
Yeah.
It could have been a comedy, which I don't even think he was in any of them, but it could have been a comedy. He would have been great. A military movie, whatever. Charlton Heston was the man. You're right when you said that.
Yeah. And by the way, so my fact about Charlton Heston, who RobFuz met,
Really?
tell us about that.
Yeah, I interned on America's Talking. It was a CNBC cable network, and he was on one of the shows. I interned. I was the photographer there, but he was just such a great guy. I got to meet him, and it's MSNBC now, the network. He was so cool. I always tell Dean the story. I said, "Hey, Mr. Heston, my name's Rob. Is it right if I take your picture?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." He's like and he just looked at me, like stared, and he put out his hand, and I went to shake it. He like grabbed my hand like this and shook my hand. It was the best handshake I've ever got. He's like, "The pleasure is mine." He goes, I'm like, "Oh my God."
That would have been awesome.
That's all I said to him. I didn't really talk to him. I didn't know what the hell to say.
Yeah.
But and I got some pictures around. Not the greatest photos of my life, but very cool to meet him. Very cool. Yeah. I got to meet a lot of cool people on that network. So.
I'm waiting for the cops to go by again because I've cheated twice.
Yeah. Here's an interesting fact about Charlton Heston. In both Ben-Hur and the 10 Commandments, the woman who played his mom was the same actress. Did you know that?
I
Interesting.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what else? Oh,
Don't ruin my moment, Dean, please.
okay. Oh, no, sorry about that.
Walt, they remake every movie. Walt. That's a good fact. I like what Walt's saying. Walt's awesome, though.
Great call. All right. Number 2 or 3, Rob.
Yeah, so I had Sound of Music. Interchangeable, in my opinion. Like, Sound of Music kind of goes a little bit hand in hand with West Side Story, and that didn't make my list. So I'm going to slide West Side Story in there. Come on, great movie, great musical. 1961. I did look it up, Carlos. That's when it came out. It's just a great movie. Great songs.
I don't believe you.
It does. It's funny because I don't really like modern musicals as much as I like the classics. So I'm going to put West Side Story in there, number 3. Ding ding.
So I saw West Side Story when I was young. I was gripped with the drama and the there was violence, but I went back and watched it recently, and it's one of those kind of movies that doesn't work as well today as it worked back then. I felt.
It's on a lot too on the pay channels right now.
Is it?
I know I got every movie channel. It's been on most recently a lot. And I try to get my daughter to sit down because she's a dancer and everything. Actually, that's where she is now at dance school. And yeah, she couldn't get into it. It doesn't play well now like it did back then. Like when I saw it in school, we were forced to watch it in school. And it just played better than what it does now. Even I can't sit through it anymore.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot. I say this all the time. There's a lot of movies I go back and watch. And I haven't seen it in a long time, so it's a good point. Thanks, guys. But like, they just don't stand the test of times. A lot of movies.
No.
So
It's true.
but it is a classic.
So, Richard, I saw in the list 2001 and considered that, but I didn't make my top 10 or 5. But
he's got one. It's one of my top two. Is my top two. Is my number two. So
West Side Story did win Best Picture in '61, though. By the way,
it did. Okay,
it did.
Brownie points.
Sound of Music won in '65 Best Picture. So
cool. All right.
I pulled up the list.
All right. Is it up to me? Okay.
It is.
You.
My next one, who I'm going to let you guess. Rob, I picked an animated film for my number 3.
Huh.
I'm going to say Jungle Book or 101 Dalmatians.
Not bad, but not correct.
Dumbo.
Dumbo's
Tina?
not in the range.
No. Okay. I don't know.
Looking at my list.
Alice in Wonderland.
Y'all got good guesses.
Alice in Wonderland's in there, but it's not on my list. So
All right. I'll give it to you. Mary Poppins.
oh, well, I didn't think it was Mary Poppins.
I thought, yeah. Well, you said
It's funny because I don't even. It's funny because my son has this argument with me all the time. I don't even consider Mary Poppins an animated movie.
No,
I'll be
I'm
honest.
sorry. Yeah,
I
it's funny that scene keeps it in my head as animated. I don't think of it as animated either. Yeah. Right.
That's my number 2. So I have Mary Poppins as my number
I
2.
threw you.
1964. Yep.
Okay. 66-ish or somewhere's around there when I saw Mary Poppins. First film I ever saw was 6 years old. I remember it distinctly. My parents piled us into the station wagon.
Station wagon.
Station
Did
wagon.
you have the one where the seats were looking the other way?
The other way in the back.
Maybe
right?
the most dangerous thing of all time. We had
did.
that. We had that. It was awesome. And the seats were really tiny, but go ahead, sorry.
We had popcorn. We had whatever. I was enthralled. At 6 to remember that all your life, it had an impact on you. And when we got home, my dad was doing stepping times.
Nice.
So it's a great memory for me.
That movie for me was Escape to Witch Mountain. That was our first movie we saw in the theater in the station wagon. So it's funny you have that same memory as me.
I love stepping. Michaela used to. I don't know if she might be able to now, my daughter, but she used to do step in time at like 5. After watching that movie so much with us, at 5 years old, she was doing that dance and singing along to it. Most of it. She couldn't do all of it, but most of it. I wonder if she can do it now at 17. Jesus. Wow. How time flies.
When did Sword and the Stone come out? Sword and the Stone. It's a different time. Keep going. I'm just looking.
All right. Amy says, I saw Mary Poppins at the drive-in. Mine was at the drive-in as well, Amy, and
okay.
made it very fun. All right. We're down to number 2, Tina.
Okay, so I had a movie from the 50s, but since you guys said you cheated a little bit, I wanted to put a movie from the 40s. But here's the thing. It's 49. So
I'll give it to you.
It can maybe
I wouldn't give
skim
it the
by.
cola. I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like buying a car from 2020 and 2019. It's the same thing.
49.
So 1949, and I might get a little flack from this and might lose some subscribers, but I went with Song of the South.
Oh, yeah. That's a great film.
I didn't think of it, to be honest with you. That's awesome. Because it wasn't on my. It wasn't in the 50s.
Don't get Carlos going here. He's
No, don't. No, I left it off the list just so I could, because you said it's an hour show. I could have ran it for an hour once somebody said something silly in chat or something. So
if I was gonna go with another movie from the 50s, I probably would have put in White Christmas from 54.
Yeah.
But I dipped into the cheating bowl a little bit.
That's a good one. Yeah. Great. All right. Any other thoughts before we go to Carlos?
Nope.
No, it's
All
a great. I mean, it's a great movie. I mean, do we really want to get into this conversation?
Another movie.
How long of the stuff? I mean,
Another movie to me does not stand the test of time. It just the animated parts are great. Just
yeah.
the live action parts. Whatever you want to say it is, whatever you want to label it. I'll be honest with you, like anything in that generation, I'm not being mean. To me, it's boring. I just wouldn't even watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I said it's a great movie. It's really not a great movie. It's a good movie. It really is.
Right.
It's a good movie. For people that just enjoy films.
Good point.
It's a good movie.
Right.
It's not great. Why do we consider it great? Because of Disney and the ride. I mean, that's why I say it's great, but it really wasn't.
I think
We'll get there, Joey Crew. Relax. Take that off. We'll get there. Sorry, Tina. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
All right, Carlos.
Well, I'm going to make Tina happy right now because it is my number 2. It is my favorite Christmas movie. It is my favorite Christmas singer, and that is White Christmas with Bing Crosby, of course, Rosemary Clooney. Danny Kaye was great in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Kaye was awesome in that movie. If anybody doesn't know what Danny Kaye, go look him up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, White Christmas. Again, favorite Christmas movie. I can definitely put that at number 2 as a solid number 2 for me. Ahead of everything else I have on this list. Just, it's one of those heartwarming movies. It's funny, a little comedy in it. Who doesn't want to watch Rosemary Clooney over and over? I can't remember the name of the other actress. I didn't write her down, but she was good too.
Yeah.
Who can't sing Sisters for over and over? Listen to that song. You think Small World will be stuck in your head?
Uh-huh.
My wife gets aggravated with me because I'll start walking around singing Sisters in the house. Okay.
I sing it to my girls all the time.
That's awesome.
I
haven't seen it in a long time. I got to go back and watch it this Christmas.
Oh, it's a month. Yeah, it's a month. I have it on every kind of DVD possible.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I love Bing Crosby. To me, the best singer of his time, especially for Christmas music. A lot of people like Dean Martin or Nat King Cole, but me, Bing Crosby singing Christmas music is
Avery's in there.
Bing Crosby is great.
He's awesome.
Avery.
Great voice.
All right, good to see Avery. So, Carlos, you got to come to Minneapolis at Christmas time because there's a classic movie theater. It's about 70, 80, or 90 years old, and it is so classic. It has the old look, and they show White Christmas every year, and they sell it out every year.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. All right.
I just got to convince the wife. Let's go shopping. We'll go to Mall of America. Then
Mall
I
of
can go
America.
watch White Christmas.
I'll show you around. RobFuz, number 2.
My number 2 was Mary Poppins from 1964.
Oh, that's right.
But I'm just looking at my honorable mention list. One of the movies on there is The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I don't really consider that an epic movie, but from 1966, it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie
That's a
Brown.
good.
Gosh, yes.
That was kind of funny. But I'll replace Mary Poppins with The Absent-Minded Professor. How's that? So 1961.
Wow. Yeah.
Great movie, a lot of fun. My picks are definitely not. It's not classic. It's not like these Oscar winners and stuff like that. Just movies that have a little warm spot in my heart. And that's definitely one of the ones. Fred McMurray that's his name, the actor, right? It's been a while. I love him. And another actor too I love is James Stewart too. Anything with him in it is awesome. Yes. I just love those two guys. And like you were saying, your actors and things, those two actors mean a lot to me. So I'll put in Absent-Minded Professor because it's on my I want to do my honorable mentions at the end if that's all right. So
yeah. Yep.
That's what I'm going to put in for my number. Not necessarily in that order, but number 2, I'm going to put Absent-Minded Professor. It's just fun. Like all those movies were around that time. Like I guess it's because when I was a kid, that's just what was popular, and that's what kind of they played that a lot. Obviously I wasn't a kid in '61, but I just me and my brother loved that movie when we were growing up. So
yeah, yep.
Poor Charlie, keep getting rocks. That's right, Avery. Hey Molly, welcome to the stream.
Hey.
Welcome, everyone.
Here, Molly. Well, This is really sad.
A lot of great picks in the chat, by the way. I'm loving
know.
all this stuff. So good stuff, guys. What a great chat. Thank you, guys.
I'm all done. I've already I'm not done because we haven't hit number one yet. But
We hit number one.
Like, wait a minute.
number two was Ben-Hur for me, and we already talked about that. So I'll put an honorable mention in, and I will choose. Did anyone like Quo Vadis?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's one that escapes me.
Clove at ease.
Quo Vadis. Anyone in the chat know this movie? No?
I love it's your number one though, and I never heard of it. That's why I love you, Dean. I'll be honest with you.
Here's Quo Vadis was really, and Carlos, you'll appreciate this, the precursor to epic biblical movies. It was huge in scale, and it was done really well. You got to watch Quo Vadis. And it was in the 40s.
Who's in it? How do you spell it?
Right? That's well, definitely not the way I tried.
Jeez. I don't even want to know how I spelled it.
Actually, it's 51, so it's okay.
Well, there it is. QUOVADIS, 1951.
Robert Taylor, Deborah Kerr. You know Deborah Kerr.
Nope. Not going to know her.
I'll just spell that because I can't find it.
QUOVADIS. Sorry, D.
VADIS.
51.
51.
Oh, it's two words. Crow. Okay,
Right,
1951. Who is in that?
Robert
Scotty.
Taylor, Deborah Kerr, and then the guy who plays the crazy Roman leader is amazing. Maybe Peter Ustinov. It's very good.
Yeah, it is Peter Ustinov.
Robert Taylor's in it. Is that what you just said? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Robert Taylor, and he's not the best actor in the world, but the movie works. It's an amazing movie. I won't say any more. All right, number one. We're down to the final pick. We got 12 minutes left. Tina, what is your number one?
So I'm very excited about this one. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. There it is. Wow.
Sorry, Tina.
No, you're fine. This is Rare Window with Jimmy Stewart and Grace Kelly.
Yes.
Jimmy Stewart is my favorite actor of all time.
There you go.
It's a Wonderful Life.
I like Tina.
Christmas movie. I love Jimmy Stewart, and I love this movie. And of course, as a photographer, I mean, it's just classic. Absolutely love this movie. Love it, love it, love it. And it's from 1954. I don't know if
it is. Yep. You never got to see the Alfred Hitchcock thing at Universal, did you?
No.
Yeah, you saw my video, but man, you would have loved it, Tina.
I'm sure I would have.
So
I just realized how close I was to my camera when I'm watching it on my screen right now. Wow. Back up.
It's too funny. Great pick. Great movie. It's one of my mom's favorite movies, and I've watched it with her, and it's just something I think about her about. So,
Grace Kelly.
So
Grace Kelly was lovely.
Oh gosh, the two of them together were amazing.
Great pick.
So
the
good.
Queen of Monaco, right? Or the whatever. All right. Number one, Carlos.
Yeah, I don't know. But I will, so let it be written, so let it be done. Yeah, to me, it's the Ten Commandments. Everybody knows God. Everybody that's watched any of my streams knows the Ten Commandments. And this has nothing to do with my father or mother or whatever. It's one of those movies when I was a kid, it just caught my eye. It's the background, the stages, the story. I am religious, I am Catholic, so I believe in all of this, but just everything about it with Charlton Heston, with Yul Brynner, there's so much you can say about this movie.
It's a long movie. That's what I say.
It's not that long. 220 minutes is not that long. It's really not. And I don't want to stay on this movie too long because I know everybody wants to go through their number one and everything. But
it's all right.
Back then, this movie had a $13 million budget, and it made $122 million back then. Do you know what that is back then? $122 million.
Crazy. I was looking at
half.
movie budgets too. Yeah.
They took a chance on this movie to put out a $13 million budget. They said, "Here, we're gonna spend this much money, and I think we can make this work." And I think Charlton Heston is the key for it, of course.
Yeah.
Ann Baxter was great, of course. Oh my God, who played the mother again? Dean, you were just talking about the mother.
The same woman who was in Ben-Hur.
Yeah, I can't remember her name right now.
Yeah.
Yvonne DiCarlo, that's what it was.
No, she was.
That's yeah.
Yeah, she's Moses' wife, isn't she? Yeah.
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 She's another one that was very attractive. Not sure, not that I'm checking everybody out, but
Carlos, I see a trend here, Carlos. First off, Carlos's next future streams, my favorite classic movies and my most attractive women in Hollywood. Those are two streams.
Most attractive. That is not.
I'll give you those two, Carlos.
Listen, that's not a bad stream. The most attractive women of Hollywood from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Actually, forget about the 60s, the 40s and 50s. But no, the Ten Commandments. Again, it's a movie that stood the test of time. That's why it's on every year on ABC, and it's got nothing to do with the religion. I know it comes on at Easter. Actually, I think it's on Good Friday, but now they moved it even to the week before. But even go watch the rankings when it's on ABC. People tune in to watch the Ten Commandments
with commercials, 5 hours.
With commercials, yes. And Rob, I don't miss a beat. I don't miss a beat, buddy. With commercials and all, gives me time to get up, go use the restroom, and come back and grab another water.
I knew that was going to be your favorite pick.
Yeah.
I should wait and share some of my 10 Commandments because it's my number one as well.
I figured it was your number one too.
So hey, I'll just go since we're on it.
Go ahead, yeah, go.
First off, what year was it, Carlos? Was it like 59?
59.
Yeah.
56. I'm sorry, 56.
56. Yes.
56.
Okay. So
I wasn't letting him get away with it if it wasn't.
it did. Yeah, it did not win Best Picture
Nope.
of the year. The greatest, one of the greatest Academy Award mistakes ever made. What film, Carlos, won Best Picture
in 56?
I have it. If I'm going to cheat.
I know.
A lot of good movies that year.
Yeah.
Was it called? No. What was it?
Want to know?
I'm not even Googling it, so I'm not sure.
Is Around the World in 80 Days.
Really?
It was a good picture. Not
the Ten Commandments.
Of the Ten Commandments. It was not. Yeah. It
The
was
King
kind of
Guy, Giant, Friendly Persuasion, and the winner was Around the World in 80 Days. A lot of good movies that year.
Yeah.
Just the special effects for 1956.
Yeah.
The special effects for the Ten Commandments. Them putting up that the main one of the main spires, when you see all the actors pulling on a rope and trying to get. We all know that was all special effects back then. There was no CGI. There was no
CGI.
There was nobody there sitting there with one of these saying, "All right, we're gonna make this movie." That was all. I mean, it's the main classic movie to me.
The parting of the Red Sea.
Yeah,
they constructed a whole pool, specially designed. It was real parting of the waters and cost a fortune. Well, a lot of money to do it. No CGI. Yeah.
Great pick, guys. I've seen it once a long time ago, but
what?
I love that you watch it all the time. I guess I gotta watch it again. I will watch it.
Rob, it's one of those movies, and my wife cracks. My wife will bring it up. It's one of those movies for me, and I do this a lot with classic movies, but this one in particular, it's a snowy day. You know you ain't leaving this house. It's just coming down. You're stuck on the couch. It's one of those. I'll put that movie on 220 minutes and just sit there. And, the heat's on, a nice coffee on the side, something to snack on, awesome. And the Ten Commandments.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect. Good. All right, Rob. Number one.
Well, I love Tina's pick. I loved you guys' number one pick. Of course, if you guys know me, I'm a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan. I was like, and it was funny because I'm looking at all these movies and how the hell did they churn out all these movies? And I'm just curious. I type in to Google, how many movies did Alfred Hitchcock make? And Google doesn't even know. They say, hey, at least 50. Like, how could you have that as an answer? Like, is there a definitive number? How many movies this guy made? When you put at least 50, you've made a lot of movies, ladies and gentlemen. So, on my honorable Rear Window was on my honorable mention list. Strangers on a Train, Vertigo, North by Northwest, 51, 54, 58, 59. I checked. But my number two, tie for number one, Psycho, 1960, and The Birds, 1963. Those are my favorite two Alfred Hitchcock movies.
I love Birds.
And, such amazing movies. I do go back. At one point, I did want to watch at least 50 of Alfred Hitchcock's movies. They're not all the greatest, but I do like Alfred Hitchcock. I love that he's a cameo in every movie. He is a very bizarre bird, very bizarre dude. But come on, Psycho and The Birds. Those are, out of the list of everything I saw, I put those as my tie for number one. I was going to put Psycho number one, but I'm like, The Birds is just as good. So I put those. Birds and Psycho, my number one pick. Alfred Hitchcock, who made at least, by the way, 50 movies.
At least, yeah. I'm looking for it too right now.
At least 50 movies. So.
Got to be a definitive number. Birds was one of my favorites. That's a good pick. Yeah.
And my mother, well, she loves Hitchcock, like I said, and we used to watch a lot of them growing up. And she used to buy all the VHS. Her favorite Hitchcock movie, I forget what it was. It was, I forget. It was not one of the most famous ones, but
Vertigo was decent.
Vertigo was great. Yeah, it's on my honorable mention too list. So
yeah.
But I have a bunch of honorable mentions. Are we going to do that after we wrap up? Or
we are there. So
that's it. Yeah, you were the last one.
Yes, Absent Minded Professor was on my Great Pumpkin, White Christmas, Cool Hand Luke was a great movie I saw in school.
Oh, yeah.
1967. The Graduate, I can't believe no one mentioned that, but 1967 again. Great movie. Bullet. When you go to San Francisco, the cab driver's like, yeah, this is the streets where they shoot Bullet, like, because it's set in San Francisco. It's a really classic movie. Believe it or not, the Batman movie from 1966. I looked it up there's only 2 seasons of Batman that can't be Adam West's show, but in between they made a movie. It was horrible, but it's on the list. Funny Girl was a great. I have Breakfast on Tiffany's on my list too. Tina, good pick. 101 Dalmatians, Jungle Book, and then of course Marilyn Monroe movies, Elvis movies, anything with James Stewart. And that's my list. That's my notes. Oh, and it was another classic movie when you're growing up. Abbott and Costello movies. There was a ton of them.
Yes.
So there's a ton of those movies. And don't forget, this is just that time range. So there's a lot of different for the classic stuff. But I played by the rules. Sorry, Carlos.
That's fine.
So.
All right. Other honorable mentions.
Yeah, it was good.
You had Bullet. I had Bullet on here. You know what? I didn't. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but yeah, I had Sound of Music on here.
15 pages later.
Listen, just 2. I did have, and I mentioned it before we even got started, but the Guns of Navarone, another favorite of mine. I love military movies. So The Halls of Montezuma was another great movie with Richard Boone and Robert Wagner. Yeah, I mean, I threw those out there. I said Gone with the Wind. Bullet, you had stolen for me. Mary Poppins was on there. I mean, there's so many. Yeah, we could have done this stream for about 3 hours, just going over these classic movies, because we can name 1 through 5, but like I said, there's a number 1 for me, and then the rest is all 2. And number 2 is a list of 30 to 40 to 50 movies. Yeah,
I love it. What a fun list.
So I only had a couple on my list that were from the 50s or 60s, and it's not Funny Girl, but the other Streisand one, and I can't blank on the name.
What's the other one?
Yeah,
My Fair Lady.
No, it's a little bit after Funny Girl, and I forget what it was, but of course I just looked at it too to make sure I can get the name in my head, and I forgot it right away. But Vertigo was on my honorable mentions. Of course, Mary Poppins, and so my ones that were non the 50s where closest to the 50s as I could get, and it was Easter Parade with Judy Garland from 1948, Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland from 1944, and For Me and My Gal, 1942 with Gene Kelly and Judy Garland. So,
Good picks.
yeah.
Welcome, Bob. Good to have you here.
Hey, Bob. I didn't pick Roman Holiday. It's my mother's all-time favorite movie. Sorry, Mom.
Roman Holiday was okay.
I'm looking at the list here.
I'm looking at. I'm counting, and don't mind me. I'm staring this way because I'm counting something. Hitchcock. I just counted 77 films that he either directed or was a writer for.
It's crazy.
77.
At least 75.
77 films.
All right, I'll give a few honorable mentions. The only ones I can really come to my mind that you haven't mentioned is The Robe. The Robe was another epic classic
Oh, yeah.
with Richard Burton, and I don't remember the woman's name, but
Surprised Rob's not Googling already.
I'm already Googling. Really.
I'm like, wait, I can't get to it. Hold on. I forgot I had it.
Gene Simmons? The Robe?
Yeah.
Gene Simmons. Really?
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
Oh,
Kid-
not that Gene Simmons. Yeah.
not that one. Yeah.
That's always a joke that he talks about.
She was lovely as well. All right, guys, let's I know you all said you had to go at the top of the hour. It is 5 or 6 o'clock, so let's go around the horn and just really quickly say what's coming up. And let's start with you, Rob.
Of course, I had to cough. So I am on 4 different streams on the Live Place Movie Marathon, including this one. I will be Wednesday at 11 o'clock. I'll be with the Mickey Bunch, Kelly. We are doing John Hughes movies. So I love John Hughes. He is awesome. So check us out on the 7th, 11 a.m. I'll be with the Mickey Bunch, Kelly, doing John Hughes movies. I'm going to be doing Steven Spielberg. That's just the topic. It's Steven Spielberg. Dean is joining me. I think I have the great Marco joining me. I think I have Disney Dan joining me. So that is my usual spot. Fridays at 4 o'clock. So I'm doing that. And then I'm going to be on Dan's stream on Saturday, 7 o'clock. Disney Fiasco. We were doing I don't know if that's Disney Fiasco. What we're doing movies. What is the topic, Dean? Because
It's movies that are so bad they're hilarious.
He was giving me his list.
I know what his number one is. I guarantee
you know
I
what
know
his
what his
number
number
one
one
is. So I do a lot of retro videos. I just put out another King Kong video. I actually found another King Kong video. So I did. Tina, thank you so much, and Carlos for being members of my channel. You guys are awesome. So I put out a lot of different retro videos. And they come out sporadically. So I usually put about one out of a thing. My next one is Back to the Future, coming out for members this week. So thanks,
Nice.
guys.
Perfect.
That's it.
All right, let's go to Carlos.
Well, first, Dean, thanks for asking me to be on. You know I love classic movies, so we've been talking about doing a stream for God, how many months now that we were talking
Long
about?
time.
Yeah, doing something like this. So I'm glad you put this all together for all the channels. What do you got? 36 channels participating?
35.
35. Yep. That's awesome. What a community we have here. And everybody doing everything together, like Rob jumping on so many streams. That's awesome. Me, I just, I was just this one for movies, because this is probably the only one I know anything about. And so forget about the rest of them. But I got my normal show tomorrow, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Shooting a Breeze. Disney Friends of Shenanigans. I don't know who's going to be there tomorrow, but we'll be doing that.
Is beautiful leading ladies,
right? It could be. And Saturdays I've been doing. Saturdays I thought of getting rid of that show, but I started doing some interviews of some younger channels. I don't want to call them new or growing, because then that sounds like I'm doing sub for sub, and it's not what we do. Speaking of that, I just hit 400 subs for a phone now, so thank you. But yeah, doing interviews of some, like Rob says, I have a big British following, and I do, so I'm doing some interviews of channels from out there and some local ones. Detroit Disney Duo is going to be on. Been enjoying doing that and some topic streams. But more importantly, I am counting down days to Disney. 53 and counting, so I'll be streaming from there. I'll be doing whatever from there. But this was a great time. If you're, haven't subscribed yet to my channel, I don't ask you to do that. I ask you to come watch first, see if you're going to like what you see, and that you would actually be there to watch my shows, and then I ask you to subscribe. If you, what is it, Rob?
I say I show up there once in a while too.
Yeah, Rob's there. Tina's been there. We got to get Dean on too. Dean's got to come hang out, and Dean's. I know Dean's got a shenanigans side of him that we're gonna get out. So we got to get Dean on this.
Dean's
show.
awesome. If you guys came over from other channels, definitely subscribe to the live place too. This channel here.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. You guys brought in a lot of fun people here. All right. And Tina.
Hi, I'm Tina. I like long walks on the beach. No,
Paris Smith music.
Where's the phone number? Call.
So Wednesday, we are doing Wednesday 5 p.m. Eastern time is my my regular show. And this Wednesday, we're going to be talking about movies from our childhoods. And I'm going to have a couple of different people on. I want to try to feature a couple of different decades, just for perspective of what everyone's favorite childhood movies were. So I thought that would be pretty neat.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm excited. So and Tuesdays at 11 a.m. We've been doing book club. Myself, Myers and the Mouse, Tracy Glenn, Tim Pruitt's wife Brenda, and Dougie Walter Graham's. But we put it on hiatus for a little bit. We're going to be starting up again, I think, next week. And the book that we're reading is called I, Robot. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun, fun with friends, and also thinking about a name change. So that's in the works to be determined.
I show up there too sometimes, but only in a chat and only to make Tina turn red.
And
as red as my shirt. But
I want to be on when you do music one day, Tina. If that's all right.
All right.
What's a book? I don't know what a book is. No, I'm trying.
I don't want a book, but Dougie, look at those dimples. You're so cute. Oh my goodness. That's the chat roundup.
And that's what my show's all about. So come on over on Tuesdays. No, I'm joking.
Well, thank you guys for being on. And I just want to say tonight, we've got some great streams coming. Oh, before I say that, I wanted to say hello, Russ. Russ Stapleton's out there. I saw Corner Sports. Corner Sports. Good to have you here. We're both sponsors of Resort TV 1. And I saw somebody else. Oh, Blaine from Raleigh Creative Travel. Blaine, I got to meet at Hollywood Studios, and it was a blast meeting him and his wife. So,
can I get one more thing in before you sign off and do your thing? Everybody hears, everybody that's in this chat and in our community hears us always say, Dean, you're my shout out every beginning of all my shows, and I know you're everybody's shout out either in the beginning, in the middle, somewhere in the end. Thank you, because I only knew you from the chat when I found Resort TV 1 3 years ago, whatever it was, 2 years ago. But when I started doing this, you reached out to me right away. I didn't reach out to you. You reached out to me and said, hey, you're doing, I like what you're doing. You want to. Thank you for that. Thank you for what you do for all of us. I know I can speak for every single one of us. Nice. You do this for not a dime. You've never asked for anything. If anything, you're on top of us to make sure the times are right. which I got to change my Saturday show to 10 a.m. You're our caretaker, and you do this for nothing. So I thank you for everything you do for us. I'm looking right now. You got 763 subs. Yeah. People, you need to share out, Dean. The live place, our home, because that's what it is. Our channel is in your home. There's no reason why our home should only have 773 subscribers.
Appreciate it.
I always give a plug.
Man. I mean, we always, everybody plugs out Dean, but we really, and Dean's not asking for this. I'm doing this on my own terms.
Thank you.
We need to push Dean out. Dean needs to get to 1,000 before I do. And I'm far away, but he needs to get there before I do, before any of us. So, Dean, again, thank you. Thanks for having me on. But seriously, thank you for everything you do. I just want to get that out there.
It's awfully nice of you to say, and I'll just say, one of these days, I'm going to go to the RobFuz training program on live streaming, how to be slick and cool like a DJ, and maybe I'll get my numbers up there. But thank you, Carlos. That was really nice of you to say that. Appreciate it. So, all right, I'll finish by saying tonight we've got at 9:00 Eastern Time. Meg, Lord of the Rings. So excited for this stream. So definitely check that out.
Next, the Queen
And
of
at
the
10
Ring.
o'clock,
What is that?
somebody was asking about Christmas movies, and Pepper Tree Villa is doing Christmas movies at 10 o'clock. Arnie, Ben, and Doug, they're
I'm sure the
fantastic.
tree's up already.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, or more.
They have a fall tree.
Fall trees.
I know
Yeah.
the fall tree's up.
Yep.
They got a lot of trees.
Sorry,
So-
Dean. Sorry, Dean. Go ahead.
No, it's good. And go to the live place, and at the top left, there's a drop down, and you choose movies on there, and you're going to see all the streams coming up. And all these people here who are going to be doing live streams. There's too many to mention. Like Carlos said, there's 35 channels doing this. So great community. So I appreciate it. And we will see you guys on the streams. Have a good night.
Hey guys, thanks, Steve.